Hey everybody, my name is Paul and welcome to my live stream lesson. Today we're going to continue on with the Haydn Cello Concerto in C major, and we're going to look at the second part of the third movement. So let's get started. So the second part is really the development, and I would say this part is, it's hard to get the speed, right, and accuracy, and being in tune because you're going to be up in the thumb position. But once you have the pattern and things like that down, it's not too difficult. So let's get started. So we're in tenor clef here, right? You can see it right here, tenor clef. I'm just gonna write the fingerings and bowings down really quickly. Alright, so this beginning goes like this. Pretty straightforward. 1 and 2 and 3. Up. And. So here, this guy, instead of doing it like a grace note, we're just gonna do a straight 16th, right? So just keep that in mind. Let me write the rhythm down here, right? So just straight 16th here. Da 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 dum. Third position, and so here we go down to 4 4. So 4 4 2 1. Same thing, up 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 as the other pattern, and here instead of 2 or 1, we're going to put 2, play with 2, second finger. And then we have this scale, right, da, da, starting from E, that's an E, E, D, C, D, until here. So that's going to be our first phrase. So starting from here, right, starting from the F, so F, third position, shift down to first, and then this guy. What we're going to do is, we're going to do second position, an extension, right? And then shift to F natural with your first finger, and then A, you can tune that with a harmonic, so and that C will be right there in that position. Here. So this first yellow phrase altogether goes like this. So 1 and 2 and ready, go, and 2 and up, and 2 and and. So that's gonna be the fingering and all that. And then we get to the next part, and it's basically the same thing. We're playing it just higher, right? Same thing, we're going to do the same bowing pattern and everything. Up. So we're going to do up, up, up here. 1, 2. Same thing here, 3, 2, 1, 2, and all up bow. So the second yellow phrase, we start with the C, A. You can play with the harmonic. I guess that'll give you enough time to go down, right? Shift that up, 4th position. And then here, shift up to the 1st finger on the G. And then that B flat. It's just going to be, so G, A natural is the whole step. Between A and B flat, it's going to be half step, right? Right, so it's the whole half finger pattern. So instead of going down to 4 there, we're going to keep the position. And then go down to the 3rd position right there. Like that. 2 and up. 3rd position. And then we go up to here. Same thing as the pattern before, right? The bowing. And then shift down to G with the 1st finger. And then B, right? B natural. Here, you're going to be in your regular thumb position. Your default thumb position where the harmonics are. And then that D, you can tune with the harmonic D. Until there. Alright, so that's the second yellow phrase. Until there. Let's specifically write it down. 1, 4, we go up bow, 4, 3, 1, 3, 4, 1. And we do separate bows. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so second yellow phrase, how you can find it is from the harmonic, right? And 2 and up. Up. E and F. Shift out and 2 and up. We come to the third yellow phrase. Alright, so let's continue on for a second because the yellow phrase is almost over. And this part is slightly interesting, the fingering that we're gonna do. There we go. So this is going to be restes. And then so that B flat, and we're going to do separate here because it's forte. So D, B flat, harmonic, and then for that G, instead of going to regular 3rd finger, we're going to do restes and go to our 2nd finger. So it's, and then here that next phrase, da 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 da, we're gonna keep in that position, right, with the restes. And that A, you can, it's a harmonic, but you can also you can tune it with your thumb harmonic. So. And the reason why we do that restes will be very apparent soon. 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Right, and then we're gonna maintain that third finger. So and keep in mind of your G. So I would keep the G, your second finger down. And then, so here, this next part, this guy right here. So it's setting up for this, right? So how you play that, so, right, you're set up for that. You're going to lift your thumb, and then you're going to go half, basically you're going to move your thumb up a whole step. So what's going to happen is now your thumb is where on the D string it'll be E, and then on the G string it'll be that A. Right? So A, G, it's like the minor seventh down here, right? You can think of the shape like that. And then that E is with the third finger right there. So it's really setting up for that chord right there. And then here we go down G, F, E, thumb, and this is the cool part. All right, so let's take a look at the last yellow phrase one more time, right? It's a little bit tricky, this fingering. So octave D. So let's bring everything into context. So B flat, A, G with the second finger in restes, right? F, stay in position. And then move your thumb up whole step, stay in position. Your fingers are going to stay in position, and then you're just simply going to move your thumb up. So that way your A is going to be the thumb, second finger is still going to be the G, and then your third finger simply just move a string over, right, to the A, and you'll be playing that E. And then here, go back to the G, and then shift down to the default thumb position. Right? And that's how we get to the light blue phrase. The yellow phrase is quite difficult, especially once it gets fast. But this is basically the transition into the development section, right? So let me just play the yellow sections once more. Just the whole section, right? And I'll be going under tempo, da 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 like that. Da 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 da. All right, yellow phrase. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 2, and and 2, and and 2, and 3, and shift, and 2, and up, and stay in position, and 2, and All right, so take your time learning the notes and just learn phrase by phrase like that. And practice it slowly. The runs. First, for the shifts, try and gliss. Try not to hop around so much. And remember to kind of lift your elbow up to support the weight. Try not to get caught up in the shoulder of the cello. That'll be very helpful, right? And also try to implement the rhythm variations, right? To get the finger coordination and the speed up, right? All those different rhythm variations that I talked about in the last lesson. So here is the perfect place to implement it. And yeah. All right, so let's move on to the light blue section now. The light blue section is probably one of the coolest part, I think, in this concerto. It's very rock and roll. And yeah, let's take a look at it. It's not as difficult as it looks. This will be a good exercise for reading tenor clef, right? We're pretty much always going to be in tenor clef now, so yeah. All right, let's continue on to the light blue section. So here, we're gonna play F natural with the second finger. We're going to be in thumb position always here, right? This is an A. It's going to be first finger on the G string. Let's do this. So thumb, you're always going to have your thumb down. Same thing here. Right, you're going to keep your thumb down all the way. So what do I mean by that? So here, so the measure before we shifted that, and we're in the regular thumb position right here. So here, let's go slowly. Let's read it slowly. So here, F, D, E, D, and then A on the G string. So it's going to be a fourth down. And then here, so F, harmonic, G, harmonic, A, like that. So it's not too difficult when you're doing it slowly. So let's do it that fast. 1. So that's the phrase right there, right? Very cool. So one thing to note is the second finger, in the beginning, those. Try to emphasize the down bow, right, a little bit more. Right, because those are the moving notes. So try to do that. Whenever you have some kind of note that is repetitive, usually that note isn't going to be important. The important notes are going to be the ones that are moving, right? So for example, da 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 do, So this, da, 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 right? So those are going to be the important notes. Right? Alright, so let's move on to the next line. Da, 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 da. So we do a scale, and here it's very important to know what scale you're playing. So 2, F natural, right? Thumb, D, E, 2, 3. Thumb harmonic, B natural, C sharp, and then D. So this guy. So that's going to be a melodic minor, right? Because we have the Re, 6th and 7th note of the scale. So that it's going to repeat for the whole measure. So measure 120. Right? So it's going to be melodic minor for for a single bar, and then it changes to a different scale, this time into a, let's take a look. So E, F sharp, G, A, B natural, C natural, and then D. So here is a completely different scale, right? D, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C natural. So when you have a major scale, and then instead of having a major 7th, you have a flat 7. We call that scale a Mixolydian mode. So that's basically the scale that implies the dominant chord. Right? So basically you're playing D dominant, but in a scale form, right? There. So you're playing two different scales. One is a minor flavor, and then the other is a dominant flavor, right? So dominant major flavor. So keep that in mind. So if we start from the scale line, we start from F natural, right? So it's very important to distinguish those differences in half steps, which ones are natural and which ones are sharp, because that will define the harmony here. Moving on, I gave you a hint that this scale is outlining a D dominant, right? And usually a dominant tries to resolve into its tonic. So D would be 5th of G. So now we're going to move into G major territory here. So we're going to stay in the same color because we're in basically the same position, right? Only we're covering G and D string now. So here we have D, and then we're gonna move over to the G string. That's the trick here. So now instead of moving between D and A string, we're going to do G and D string. So 3, 2, 1, thumb, 3, 2, 1, thumb. So same thing. These are going to be the important notes. And the bowing will be changed. So, also another trick here that's important is, so for the scale, you're going to be your thumb is going to be above D and A string, right? And when you're playing that octave, what you can do is when you play that D, high D, you can move your thumb over to the G and D string harmonic to prepare for this whole next section. That way you're not trying to scramble across. Right, you have almost a whole half of a measure to prepare your thumb into the next position, right? That's going to be very helpful, that little trick. Just preparing here, right? When you're playing these last 2-3 notes of the scale, kind of just lift and reset your thumb over D and G scale, D and G string, right? You don't literally have to lift your thumb like that. You can just slide over like how I am. Right? Slide. And then here, that's a normal G major scale here. Da 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 thumb, 1, 2, 3. All right, so the string crossing here, really you're just doing circular movements with your wrist and your hand. You don't necessarily have to move your entire arm like that. You can see how I'm kind of just scooting my finger down and up like that. Right? Really, I'm feeling this motion. I'm kind of scrambling, I'm scrambling eggs here. So this transition is kind of difficult because you're moving your whole frame down to a C major. A whole step down from our default thumb position. So that landing is going to be hard, especially at a fast speed. So keep that in mind. So since that's going to be a new position, I'm going to color that a different color. Let's do it purple. But before we move on, let me just quickly play through that. the blue phrase, right? So blue phrase is all in the default thumb position. So you always have the harmonic as your reference on your thumb. And that's how you can also tune your entire position, right? You can always tune with the open harmonics for the scale, tuning your scale and things like that. Alright, so let's give the light blue phrase a go, slightly under tempo. Okay? Alright. 1 E and 2 E and ready and go E and Mixolydian. So, try to be relaxed in this part because it's also very exciting. You can tense up very easily, but try to be relaxed. Use your finger motion for your bow. It's very fast, right? So, and you just have to remember the fingering patterns. You can't really necessarily think about each individual notes, right? You just gotta know, oh, this measure 120 is melodic minor, and then the next one that comes is a basically flip of that, right? So there's a lot of things that you can do to reduce the amount of thinking required, but in order to do that, you have to kind of program all those notes first, right? So that's how the blue phrase is done. Let's move on to the purple phrase. Purple phrase is basically the same thing, just whole step down, right? And as I said before, in the last three notes here, prepare your thumb. Same thing as here, prepare your thumb. To D and G. Strings. So just slide over. Same thing, slide over. And then you gotta, here what I do is, as I slide over, I also kind of space out my thumb into a, like a whole distance. Because your second finger is only moving half step, right? From F to E. But your thumb is going to move a lot further. So it kind of helps to kind of widen your thumb position beforehand, and then shifting after. Right? So here we're in the C major. So C, G will be your thumb position, 5th. So here, same thing, right? E, G, G on the G string. It's an harmonic, but you should probably finger that. E, F, G with the thumb, right? So it's basically the same fingering pattern as the blue phrase, except we're now in a major sound. Two, three, thumb, three. Same thing, we're going to focus on the moving notes. And this is the same. Second measure is the same. Same thing, keep your thumb down all the way. Right? So that's the fingering. The hard part about this one is you always have to keep a constant pressure on the thumb. Because on the harmonic you can kind of get away with not pressing down on the string, right? But here you have to press it down in order for the C and G to sound. So it's a little bit more difficult. Just do the strength training that I've told you about. Just, pressing down your thumb, holding it for 10 seconds longer, going higher up on the fingerboard for higher tension, right? Just do that, and your thumb will be strong enough to do this part easily. So your first finger is going to be where the harmonics are. And it's just C major. Go to the next scale part, right? So here, so E, C, D, E, F, natural, G, A, B, natural, C, right? It's just a regular C major. And then the next scale is the same scale except we flat the seventh, right? A, B flat. So we are essentially playing a C dominant here. So just remember that the only change is this B flat, 1, 2, 3. And here is going to be the same transition. When you're playing a B flat C, you're going to shift your thumb over to the F and C, right? F and C right there. Thumb. 3, 2, 1, thumb. All right, so that is going to be the purple part. And next part is going to be the green part. The green part is where it starts to change a little bit, right? So purple part is basically the same thing as the light blue part, just shifted down a whole step, right? And major. So if we start from the purple section, it goes like this. Green right here. All right, so that is the entire section of the first page. All right. From green section, it gets a little bit more interesting, but I would say bulk of the work in this development section is going to be the light blue and the purple. Green section as well as the other parts, but more so these. These are really hard to get down, mainly because it's just pure thumb position work, right? So I think it'll be helpful to hear how this first page sounds all together. And then I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll move on to the next section. Okay? All right, so let's go from yellow all the way to the beginning of the green. So same slow tempo, right? 1 and 2 and ready, go. And 2 and and 2 and and 2 and 1. Scoot up, and 2 and up. Mixolydian. Alright, so that is where the green section starts. Alright. Let's see. Yeah. I'm going to take a quick break because it'll only get a little bit more difficult. So, yeah. I'm going to take a quick 5-10 minute break and I'll be right back, okay? And once again, thanks for tuning in, and I'll be back with more. All right. I am back. Made myself some coffee. So let's get moving to the green section now. So the green section it's kind of like the chord section in the first movement, right? So what happens here is we're going to be playing a lot of chords. So basically, I think it's easier if I just play it. Play a little bit, right? So that's basically what's happening here. So The staccato, the bouncing, it automatically happens when you're playing it fast, so I'm not gonna say try and work on it. First, let's work out the fingerings, right? So, because I think that's going to be the more difficult part. So here we have thumb, 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 thumb. Right, this is going to be blocked out. Thumb, thumb, and instead of 2, we're going to play with the 1 harmonic. And then move to how it is here, right? So basically we're playing F major chord here, right? Except just higher. Slightly out of tune, sorry. I'm messing up. And then we're going to shift up to the thumb position. And then here, it's going to be A, first finger A, F natural, right? We're in regular thumb position now. So that's the regular thumb position. And then here, we're still in thumb position, 2 and 1. Same fingering here, and then we go back to A, F, natural, and then A, same fingering here, right? All right, so let's quickly figure out what chords these are outlining, right? Because if we know the chords, it becomes a lot easier to think about. And then A. So if we have F, A, and C, that's going to spell out F major, right? So here, F major. And then here, we have G, G, E natural, and then B flat. Usually that kind of that to me has all the notes of a C dominant except for the C, right? So I'm going to say that's going to be a C7, C dominant, but with a G on the bottom. When I write slash note name, that means the note after the slash is on the bass, on the bottom, right? So, and then back to here, we have the same notes as F major, so F major, back to F major. So here, and then thumb, harmonic, that's a little bit tricky, that B flat. That first finger hop across finger, that's a little bit tricky, but I think you can get it. Alright, so it goes back to F major, right? Nothing too spectacular. And then next measure, we go to F sharp diminished. Right, and then we move half step up with our second finger for that F sharp. So we have F sharp something. I'm going to write F sharp diminished because that's what it feels like it's doing. And then the next section here is open string G, right? So your thumb position is going to be on the A and D string. You're going to play open G from here on out. So here we're playing G minor, right? We have open G, G, and a B flat. So G minor. And then here we have G, F natural, and B natural, right? So only octave high. So we play F natural and then B. So that's going to be spelling out G dominant, right? G dominant, and here we just play the octave high with the D on the top note, and then here we go to G, E, and C, which is a C major, right? C, E, G. And then that goes to G, E, and then C sharp. Which is going to be like A dominant. A dominant. And then here we do something interesting. It's going to be B, G, and B, right? So let's ignore that for a second. But here we go to B, F sharp, D sharp, which is going to be definitely a B major sound. Here it's really outlining the dominant, so I'm going to write B7. So so it's playing. So it's playing E minor here, right? minor. And then B dominant. Back to E minor. So we're doing a big old transition into E minor here, right? So basically the green phrase goes until here. That's the whole entire green phrase, but really all you need to practice is those chords. If you know the chords, the bowing is just right. That's the bowing, but the hard part is the left hand, right? 1, 2. But here you should really practice like that. Practice into 2 double stop, broken double stops. So for example, here. And then A, F, right? G, E, B flat. Really the trick here is just getting the movements down in your left hand and then tuning it, right? You can tune that G with open G. 1, 2, but it's a fifth, right? B, F sharp. E harmonic. So that's basically all you need to know there. Try to practice it like that, just double stop chords. So if you practice it in chords, you have a very, very clear sense of what the harmony should be. It's a very, very cool harmony, right? So I don't know. I really like it, and it's very rock and roll there. So that's how I would practice the green part. So, first of all, the chords, right? And then slowly add the bowing to it. Basically, you're trying to maintain where your elbow should be where you play the D string, right? And you only need to dip down into the G string with your finger. Like that, instead of dropping it down completely. And then for open G string, you just pressure control, right? Here to the almost there. Okay, so green section is pretty difficult, but if you work on it slowly, like how we are right now, you'll be fine. Work on it step by step, right? Just get the left hand tuning right, understand the chord progression, and then adding the bowing will be easy. Let's do red. Alright, so red, we're at E, E minor, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and up. So let's figure it out. E, E, F sharp, G natural, A, B, C sharp, D sharp. So we're doing a melodic minor here as well, right? That's right, melodic minor. So 1, 2, closed. 1, 2, 3, open. And now we're in the E thumb position. So your thumb is going to be on E and B. Your third finger will be that high E harmonic. Minor. And then here, stay in position. Right? We're going to stay in position on A and D string. Alright, so here. Stay in position. And then the last scale changes. B here, right? So here we change to major, and then B, C natural, D. It's going to be very uncomfortable that thumb and first finger all bunched up together like that, right? But then try to relax that first finger, because we're gonna go down to this position, A. It's going to be right. So here we're going to play that with 1. That is an optional thing. Same thing, we're going to try and maintain the notes. So here is A, B, C natural, E, F sharp, G sharp, right? So 1, 2, 3, that's closed, that's open. One, two, closed. Alright, so this one's difficult. It goes from this high position to all the way down here. And 2. And alright, and the red phrase goes until there. Very long phrase, probably the most difficult out of all of the virtuoso ones because it's very high up. A lot of high tension, right, in the thumb position. So just keep that in mind, but work on it slowly, and I think you'll be fine. So here, shift to first finger on the A, and then E is right there, and then D sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G natural here. So here is a very awkward position. Right. So that's a very uncomfortable scale. Any scale that has first finger close to the thumb position, thumb is gonna be uncomfortable. But you'll be okay. So from the red, if we do all of red, it sounds like this. 1 and 2 and ready, go. And. Oh, sorry, it should be minor, sorry. 3 and 4 and 1. So that's how the red section goes. And now we're finally at the end of the second part, end of the development, right? And let's make this one orange. And just a warning here, I use a lot of thumb instead of your fingers. Right? So yeah, there's too many shifting here. So what happens with thumb is, with thumb you're able to kind of stretch and gauge your distance instead of just jumping all around. So that's going to be what I'm going to focus on. So here, shift to G, and then it's a major third up. And then here, instead of 2, we're gonna keep the 1, and we're gonna play the F sharp with the thumb, like that. And try and practice vibrating with the thumb. Right? And then first finger, we're gonna do the same thing, first finger, thumb, instead of 2-1. First finger, thumb. So we have that G sharp as our thumb push. And here, it's going to be normal. All along here, thumb, 1, 2, 3, right? So that's really the only thing that's gonna be difficult in terms of fingering. There's a lot of thumb positions, but you'll be fine. So let's try it together here. Shift to first finger on G, 1 thumb, and then A thumb, A first finger, and then G sharp, and then here B, D, G sharp. So here's that diminished, right? Minor third and minor third. Thumb, thumb, 1, B, and here is just normal, right? And then here we're going to use a different fingering for the fast scales here. So 4, 2, 1. We're not doing the thumb here. Okay. So this run, we're doing this. Sorry. And then we're just going to keep on A string. And then shift to first finger on that D sharp here. One, 2, we're not doing that 3 here. Going 4. Okay, so here, fairly simple. Right? You should be landing here on a down bow, just an FYI. Two, 2, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 2, 2. So focus on these notes. Rest our thumb, the E will be on the thumb. let me figure out the bowing real quick. Alright, that's up. Down. Up. Yeah, let's do that. We're doing that. So separate, right? And then here, just stay all on A string. It's gonna be quite a bit of stretch. Right? It's a little bit tedious, that position, but I think you can manage. It's gonna be all restes. Going to be 1 2 1 2 3. 1 2 1 2 3. 1. Alright, what do I mean? So one, right? One. And then stay. One, 1 2 2 1 thumb thumb 4 3 1 3. Then I do like that, 2 1 thumb 1 thumb, like that. So thumb. So you're gonna end on a thumb. I know as I said, I'm going to be using a lot of thumb here. But I'll say this. I complained it at first about this fingering, but I realized it's much more stable and more accurate in terms of getting the intervals and distances right in between the positions. So, and I don't know, being able to use your thumb is very helpful in a lot of times. You're especially in the upper positions. You're just not only limited to 1 2 just 3 fingers. You can also use your thumb, right? That's the whole point of a thumb position. So, the quicker you learn to utilize your thumb a lot, the easier your life will be for learning harder repertoire, right? All right, so let's quickly try the orange part really quickly. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 2 and So that's going to be the orange phrase. Yeah. So really, that's the entire development section of the third movement. It's pretty hard. A lot of moving parts, but just work on it slowly. Use the rhythm exercises to up the speed, but just work on it slowly. Don't over practice your thumb position. If a blister forms, you're going to lose time healing, right? So take care. If your thumb starts to hurt, work on other passages that doesn't involve thumb position. So that would be my tip. Let's see. Let's try playing from the green all the way through. So I'm gonna turn the page already because I don't have a page turner right now. So from green all the way to the second page. 1 and 2 and taka taka and. Okay, so the speed I played is already fast, so practice it very slowly, right? Very slowly. The idea of playing fast is you have to be very relaxed. So try to practice this passage slowly and as relaxed as possible. Utilize the rhythm exercises, right? Combine them, right? Or you can do the dotted eighth triplet. Right? So just combine all the rhythms together. Make sure you practice with a metronome, right? Always practice with a metronome. And yeah, you should be good. Okay, so that'll be it for the development part for today. I hope, as always, thank you for tuning in. And next stream, I will be looking over the last page of this movement. So, yeah. Thanks for tuning in, and we're almost getting to the end of the year, so yeah. Happy practicing, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.